This delicious pasta is made with few ingredients and it's really easy to make. Hello everyone! Today I want to share with you a simple mushroom pasta recipe that I made up. You see, when I cook, I usually just make up stuff. I don't have a recipe. Sometimes it's very hard for me to write a recipe because I just make it up. Whatever ingredients I have at hand, I just create whatever I can make with it. So for today's ingredients, we're going to be using cremini mushrooms, garlic, olive oil and salt and ground pepper. So that's basically it. And for the pasta, today I'm going to be using spaghetti, but you can use whatever your favorite pasta is. And today I'm going to add a little bit of white wine to it. The last time I made this, I did not put any white wine, but I'm going to experiment and see what it does to this pasta. So let's get cooking. Okay, so for today's ingredients, we're going to be using about 6 cloves of garlic, organic whole wheat spaghetti for our pasta, and I have here cremini mushrooms, 1 whole pack. This is 8 ounces of cremini mushrooms. I got this from Trader Joe's, and I have a little bit of left over here, so I'm just going to use up all that. And then I'm going to use parsley for garnish, and ground black pepper to season it, and of course salt. And also, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna experiment with adding white wine to it. Oh, and also the salt that I will be using is, let me get it and show you, hold on. The salt that I will be using today is black truffle sea salt. This was given to me by Veggie Girl. So Veggie Girl, I'm going to be using your salt today. This one is from the San Francisco Salt Company, and just put it up to your nose and you can already smell the truffle. It smells so delicious. However, this is a little salty, so I always just use it sparingly. It tends to be salty before you can get to the black truffle flavor. That smells so good because I like truffle. And that's it. And olive oil, like I said. All right, so first let's start the pasta. So while our pasta is cooking, let's prep the other ingredients. So starting with the garlic, I'm going to mince all 6 cloves of garlic. Our mushrooms are next. If you have a big mushroom like this one, what I do is I cut it this way and I just cut through the stem. And when I cut my mushrooms, I don't make them too thin because they tend to shrink when they cook, and so I want a little bit of chunk when I'm eating my mushrooms. So this is, I came up with 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces, but that's a big mushroom. Now if it's a small mushroom like this one, sometimes I cut it only into 3 depending on the size. This one looks like about that. So I cut it, my knife is touching the stem of the mushroom right here. The back side of my knife is touching the stem of the mushroom. Cut it right there. Turn it around, let my knife touch the stem of the mushroom again, and cut it. So now I have 3 pieces. And I like seeing the shape of the mushroom rather than chopping this into tiny pieces, because that way, you know, you see what you're eating, and I like that. And I like also biting into the chunk of a mushroom. For a small mushroom like this, then I just cut it into 2. Just half it. So our garlic and our mushrooms have now been prepped. Look how much mushrooms that came up. I'm just waiting for the pasta to finish cooking. So here's a tip. So during this time when there's nothing really going on, all your ingredients have been prepped, you're just waiting for the pasta, now is a good time to clean up everything. So clean your kitchen now. You have this time. So now I'm gonna start cleaning my cutting board and everything else that I need to clean. That's just how I manage the kitchen. So if you're overwhelmed because cooking is, you know, there's a lot of things to be done in the kitchen, this is one way to cut it down. So by the time you finish cooking your actual pasta, half of the kitchen is already clean. Half of the work has already been done. Okay, so that's a tip. Okay, so our pan is now heated up. So I'm going to add some olive oil to it. Not a whole lot. I will add as I go when we put in the pasta. This is just for the garlic. It's not very hot because you don't want your garlic to be golden brown, not for this recipe. So there's a very, very light sizzle of the garlic there, and you have to watch it, make sure it doesn't turn golden brown. And that's when you add the mushrooms. So really just a few seconds there. And I have my heat on low. So to be careful not to burn the garlic. Mix it all together. And cover it. Mix it all together. And add the wine. I'm using about half a bottle of this small bottle of wine, and I'm just going to cover it. So from time to time, open it up and stir up the mushrooms. That way they cook evenly. And cover it again. Time to check our mushrooms. Yeah, the mushrooms look cooked now. So it's time to season it with pepper. I like it peppery, so I'm going to put a lot. And here's our salt. And you can just use regular salt. So let's go easy on that. We can always add, but it's very difficult to remove if you oversalt it. So always go easy with your seasonings and everything else that you put in to your food. Okay, let me taste that. I can definitely taste the wine in there. Need a little bit more pepper. So as you see, I just season as I go. I'm constantly tasting and I'm constantly seasoning. So just a few more minutes, I'll just evaporate the wine a little bit, and this is pretty much done. Okay, there's still a lot of wine in there. I didn't really evaporate it, I just gave it like a few seconds of steaming. So now I'm going to add the pasta, because the pasta will absorb that sauce too. So I'll add it and toss it. And we are done. Okay, so it's time to plate up. So just lay a bed of pasta on your bowl. Top it with mushrooms. And garnish with parsley. Our pasta is done, so it's time to test it. It's very peppery. Garlic is still mild, surprisingly. Maybe because I didn't, it's not golden brown. But I think it will be better if we use roasted garlic next time. The wine, I can barely taste it. So you can skip the wine if you don't like wine. But overall it's good. And when I cook my pasta, I don't put salt while cooking the pasta. I just add the salt when, you know, when I'm seasoning everything together. So that's one way of cutting down your salt, but definitely still go easy on this one. Of course, I'm not going to recommend Parmesan cheese on this one. But if you're in transition and you want to use Parmesan cheese, just really go easy on this because Parmesan cheese is already salty and we already put salt here. So that's why I'm not going to put Parm on this one. But it's good. I hope you try it. It's really easy to make. Delicious. Okay, so how much pasta did I use? You know, there's that tool that you can buy that will measure pasta. They have like different holes of different sizes depending on how many servings of pasta you will need. But I don't have that. I just basically grab it and I pretty much know how much we will be needing here in our household. So, but with the recipe that we made today, I'd say this is good for 2 to 3 servings. If you don't eat that much, then maybe up to 4 servings. So that's what we have for today's pasta. I hope you enjoy it. Remember, it's all veggie, it's healthy, and it's tasty. Thank you for watching.